now. This is a story all about how local soccer media got flipped, turned upside down. And we like to take a minute, so grab a beer so cold, and we'll tell you how we became electric gold. In White House, Tennessee, born and raised on the soccer fields was where we spent most of our days. Reading Mad Magazine and riding our bikes with a known propensity for rocking the mic. Now we're a trio of guys who are getting kinda old, cheering on the boys and gold with every bit of our soul, screaming our heads off while drinking some beers, hoping to give Cincy and Miami something to fear. Now Evan, John and Ryan are kicking the facts about Nashville SC, and they'll never come whack. If anything, we can say the show is rare. Acoustic blue and electric gold, the only colors we wear. We pull up the Doties about 7:38, and we yell to the refs, yo home, smell you later. We look at the castle, we feeling so bold. We sit on our thrones, we're electric gold. Electric gold.
Hello, everyone. At long last, Electric Gold is back. I'm Ryan, and I'm here with John and Evan, and this is part 2 of our end-of-season special, where we're going to be looking ahead to the off-season. It's the much-anticipated finale for the 2025 Electric Gold season. Tell us, how are we doing this evening? We just finished Thanksgiving. That whole holiday weekend is behind us. How are you guys doing?
I couldn't be much better, I got to tell you. I finished the last of my Thanksgiving leftovers for lunch this morning. I'm currently a little bit regretting that. It was like one day too long. You know, Thanksgiving leftovers are good for like...
The holiday was...
the leftovers. You know, they're good for like 3 days. And after that, man, it starts getting shady.
I'm still working through mine.
Yeah?
I'll be honest. Yeah.
Good on you.
I've got another day or so left. Yeah. I'm fat and happy.
Yeah, I'm always fat and happy. I do want to start with 2 words for everybody in the state of Tennessee. Anchor down.
Yeah.
That's what's got me going. Vanderbilt football. My God, what a team. That team is really fun to watch, and I had a blast watching them Saturday, so I'm still coming off that high of seeing them kick Tennessee's butt.
Yeah, all praise to the Commodores. It's the first time since World War I that they have won 10 games in a season.
That's mental. And it wasn't even a sport. Like, they probably didn't have forward passes back then.
No, or pads.
Yeah,
it was probably a lot like soccer,
basically,
to be honest.
Probably.
Evan, are you doing all right and had a great Thanksgiving and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm stuffed. I'm like you. I've been eating leftovers, ever since. But like John, I wrapped mine up today. I'm trying to go back to normal after today. But yeah, man, had a great Thanksgiving. Went to a Thanksgiving get-together on Saturday afternoon at the time of that football game. So I actually got to watch it. I don't usually watch American football. I haven't watched a Vandy game since James Franklin was the coach, I don't think.
About the same.
This is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one podcast where I might actually be able to speak intelligently about Vanderbilt football. So guys, fire away.
I do have a question for you guys before we talk about the beers. I want to know, which dish is the designated player of your Thanksgiving dinner? Evan, we'll start with you.
Listen, I have no problem coming up with this, and it has kind of snuck up on me over the last few years, but it is clearly now my DP on the Thanksgiving spread, and that's my sister's broccoli salad.
Ooh.
She makes this incredible broccoli salad. It's got obviously broccoli and some grapes and some nuts and stuff in there, and it is so good. It's my favorite thing on the whole plate.
That sounds good as hell, man. I'm coming over to your house next year.
Come on over.
What about you, John? What's your designated player of the Thanksgiving
I always have to go with my mama's sweet potato casserole. She's got like a kind of a crumbly, I'm totally getting whatever. I don't know. It's very sweet, kind of granola type, cornflake type topping on it. Man, it is so good.
Nice.
I get the entire plate, put a little of everything that we've got, and I always save the sweet potatoes for last because I got a bit of strong. So that's my DP.
I like it. So at our house, we have a lot of the traditional favorites. We have the turkey, we have the stuffing, we have the sweet potatoes and the casseroles of all sorts. But we have a really unique dish that is a part of my wife's family tradition. I think it's something that her grandmother made, and maybe even beyond that. Scalloped oysters.
Oh,
And it is a really interesting dish. To me, it strikes me as a casserole, but she always corrects anybody who calls it an oyster casserole. It's several layers of oysters and crumbled up crackers and lots of butter. And after you've layered it all up, you poke holes in it and you pour heavy cream all through it. Bake it for a really long time.
Man.
It is just fantastic. It is a big hit for all of the people that come to our dinner. So scalloped oysters, yeah, that's the DP.
Sounds awesome.
I do have an Alex Wheel of our Thanksgiving dinner this year as well. So we make this dessert that is a peanut butter lasagna. Basically, it's like a peanut butter cream cheese flavor kind of layer, and then chocolate pudding and whipped cream on top of that. And I made it this year, and I really probably should stay away from the kitchen, guys, because I didn't read the directions carefully. And the recipe called for 1 block of cream cheese. Well, there were 2 sitting on the counter, so I just put 2 blocks of cream cheese into this thing.
As you would.
I think it tasted even better. I don't know. I mean, we still made it work. It still was a big hit.
Well,
so.
That is exactly what Alex Will will do. He just throw that shit in there.
Just go crazy, not reading directions. I mean, you can see him doing that, right?
Yeah. Totally, yeah. What this is all telling me, though, is that next year we need to combine like Voltron and Electric Gold. Just needs to have one big ass Thanksgiving meal.
What an event that would be.
Man, I want to try y'all's food.
For sure. Well, let's top off this discussion with food with some discussion about drink, and specifically what beers you guys are drinking this evening as we wrap up our 2025 season. John, what beer are you having tonight?
Good God, boys. I waited all season for the dumbest beer in the world, and I have found it. I told you guys last time that our good friend, Dr. Joey, he has gotten in a habit of finding the weirdest beers for me now. And so he texted me this one day, and he said, dude, look at this shit that I just found. And I was like, okay, buy it, man. I have to drink of this on the podcast. This, from the Duclaw Brewing Company in Baltimore, Maryland, is Unicorn Farts.
What?
Unicorn Farts. This is a glittered pink lemonade sour ale
Lord.
With fruity cereal mashed in. It basically tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
Holy moly.
It is so stupid. It says it's a glittered ale, though, and I was really hoping it would be glittery. It's not very glittery. I don't see any glitter whatsoever. So it is a slightly disappointing in the looks compartment, but I mean, I guess if you like Fruity Pebbles and you like beer, this is the one for you.
I never thought about putting those two together, but why not? Why not? Evan, what are you having this evening?
Well, boys, tonight I'm having the Southern Grotzer from Yazoo Brewing Company right here in Nashville. This beer is a light lager featuring pecan smoked wheat malt. So it's got that nice smoky taste, and I actually had never seen this before, but I picked it up a few nights ago on my very first trip out to the Yazoo location in Madison. Got invited out there to join Captain Liam Barry and his lovely wife for trivia. I had some really good fish and chips along with the Yazoo beer. Turns out they ended up not doing trivia, so we broke out old school Trivial Pursuit and played it. Me and my gal versus the Berries, and man, it was an epic game of Trivial Pursuit.
I gotta know who won.
Time. The Berries won this round.
Jen is a smart lass.
It's not over
It's
yet.
all about Jen, really. I know Liam didn't answer any of
but
those
that's
questions.
just the first round. That's just the battle. They haven't won the war.
That's right. They may have won the battle.
Exactly.
They have not won the war.
This evening, guys, I am taking a selection from the Living Waters Brewing Company, which is just on Trinity Lane here in Nashville. They've got a wide selection of different beers that they make and brew. This is a New England IPA called Nymph. It's a hazy IPA. It's actually got like 7.5% alcohol. So pretty strong.
Nice.
And I don't know what these are, but it says it's got Galaxy, Citra, Mosaic, Chinook, and Centennial, and CTZ hops. I have no idea what any of those words mean.
Sounds good to
but
me.
it is a piney, juicy, smooth flavor. It's a really good IPA. And Living Waters Brewing is really interesting. Not only do they brew beer, but they brew coffee as well. They have a selection of different coffees that they offer. And so whether you're starting out your day or wrapping it up, that's a good place to drop by and get a tasty beverage. So highly recommend.
Just spend all day there.
Why leave? They have food too, so there's really no reason. Anyway, guys, this has been such a fun year. I'm so happy that we have completed this season, and I've enjoyed every moment of doing this podcast with you guys. Happy holidays, and cheers to you.
Happy holidays. Cheers, boys.
Happy holidays. Cheers, boys.
All right. We don't have our normal week in review or anything to do. There's nothing really going on in the world of soccer in the United States anyway. By the way, go Vancouver.
Yeah.
We do want to talk about the upcoming offseason for Nashville SC. They have recently released their roster decisions for the existing roster, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interesting news that happens over the next several weeks. So we thought we would take this episode of Electric Gold and basically go over our existing roster as it stands, talk about what the needs are for the team, talk about what our wish list is for the team, and maybe even squeeze in a few hot takes as well about what we want to see for the offseason in 2026. Before we dig into the details of that too much, guys, let's just kind of set up for maybe the new listener or maybe the person who's not so well informed or familiar with the rules of roster management in the MLS. And I'm going to try my best here, but this is not easy by any means.
I honestly think we're all trying. I think general managers in MLS are trying, to be honest with you.
The name of the game is GAM. Let me just say, GAM makes the world go round. And what I mean by GAM, that stands for General Allocation Money. It is the flexibility that your roster needs in order to be able to thrive. Every team has a salary cap, and I believe in 2026 it's going to be around $6.2 million, something like that. It was 5.9 this past season. And so you've got 20 slots that you've got to occupy. That's in your senior roster, and then you got another 10 or so in your supplemental roster. Those folks could be called up to individual games. Anyway, you can't exceed your salary cap, but what you can do is use your general allocation money to basically buy down the salaries of various players so that you can get under the cap. And so it's a way to just be really, tricky with the math, I guess.
Duplicitous.
Right. And some teams seem to be able to stretch that GAM a lot better than others. So the new this season is that GAM rolls over. You know how with your a lot of folks with your job, you may get, your 2 weeks of vacation time, and at the end of the year, some people, if you don't use your vacation, you lose it. Some people get to roll some over. Well, for the first time ever, MLS is allowing teams to roll over their GAM.
Interesting.
Wow. That's awesome.
See, this is something I'm already learning.
Yeah.
The reason why is because there's also TAM, which is target allocation money. I understand that even less than I do GAM, but I know that they are wanting to get away from even having that as a part of the whole formula here. So why they're trying to roll over GAM and make that more of the focus is because they want to eventually eliminate the target allocation money altogether. So various teams have ended this season with different levels of general allocation money. The most is Minnesota they've got like $4 million in change in GAM that they are getting to roll over. And there's various other teams at the top of that list that have a lot of GAM to roll over. Unfortunately, and somehow inexplicably, Miami is like 4th or 5th in the league. They've got like $2 million in change to roll over. I don't even know how that happens. When they're going to have to use a lot of it on their international players. And that's the other thing is, you've got only so many international slots that you're allotted, and then you can trade for more and stuff. I think we have 8 total now, but Miami's got like 15 or something like that. It's pretty crazy. So anyway,
they get to do what they want.
Yeah, the rules don't really apply to them too much. Nashville will be rolling over $50,000 of GAM going in. That's it.
Gosh.
That's all they got.
No. Oh, no.
They're not as in bad a shape as Cincinnati, who is rolling over exactly $0 of GAM.
Wow.
So they're in an even worse situation than us when it comes to the roster flexibility. But what this does is, again, it allows you to pay players more or in excess of the salary cap, and then you just throw GAM at it to buy it down to the level to where you are within the cap. So whatever. I know that's a big long-winded sort of explanation for it all. And there's more detail and nuance to it than just what I've said. I'm just kind of scratching the surface here.
So my understanding is the GAM really helps you with your second tier of players, your players under the DPs, because your DPs are outside of the cap. So it's that second tier that GAM really helps you work some magic.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. And so the designated players, you can elect to either have 2 or 3. If you go for 3 designated players, then you get 3, is it U20?
U22 initiative.
But I think it's 4. Wait,
no.
So if you have,
if
you have 3 designated players, you get
have
3 of those U22 slots.
Yes.
If you choose to go with 2 designated players, then you get 4 of those U22 slots. All right. So that's something that you have to have declared, or I think you have to declare by February 12th or 15th. They may not even have that date set yet. But you have to declare that by then, and then you go forward through the rest of the season with just that many designated player slots. The designated players, you can pay whatever amount. They count only, I think, $700 and something thousand against the cap, no matter what you pay them. And then the rest of your roster you fill out, and yes, you can throw the GAM at different highly paid players to pay them down and get them the whole team under the cap. Woo! You have to be a mathematician, basically, to figure all of this out. I mean,
too much math for me.
It really is.
I graduated from math 30 years ago, and I'm done with it.
Any math is too much for me.
So I say all this to explain that Nashville has what I would consider below average flexibility heading into 2026, with the exception that we have a lot of slots to fill, and we are losing quite a few highly paid players, and we're going to get into that in a minute. So there's going to be some flexibility within that normal cap, but exceeding it is going to be very difficult for us unless we make some trades. You can trade for more GAM, and so that's one way to acquire it. You also, I think, maybe get a little bit of extra by qualifying for CONCACAF Champions Cup, which we're in that. I think you get a little bit for qualifying for the Club World Cup. So there are other incentives that allow you more roster flexibility that way. Again, is it going to make a huge difference? Probably not. When it comes down to it, your teams like Minnesota, like Miami, I think Portland, some of these others are going to have incredible flexibility compared to what Nashville's working with. So hate to be the bearer of bad news, but just bear that in mind as we start to walk through what is this roster going to look like and what can we actually do in the offseason. Now, all that said, last year we had very little flexibility, and our front office was very creative and found us some terrific solutions. Am I right?
We made it work. Yeah, absolutely. We hit several home runs in the offseason last year. So, yeah, let's cross our fingers they can come with the goods again.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's talk about the roster, guys. Let's just start to break down what are we working with here, okay? We ended the season, had a number of players that were their contracts were either ending this season or the club could exercise an option for one additional year. Of the, let's see, there were 7, 8, 9, 10. There were 11 players that had the club option available. We exercised only 4 of them, and we elected to decline it for 7 others. Then there were 3 players that were out of contract. And so let's just go through maybe position by position what this roster is going to look like. And you guys can add your thoughts and hopes and dreams for what you want for each part of this team. Let's start with our goalkeepers. All right.
Okay.
Joe Willis had a club option for next year, which was declined. He's been with the team since its inception, and since day one. Of course, he was a veteran already when he came to Nashville. He was the oldest player on the team, I believe. Let's see, how old was Joe? What was he? Well,
7?
Let's see. Yeah, 37. That's right. So, by far the oldest player on the team. He was making about, I don't know, $600K a year or something like that. But they've declined to pick up his option, so Joe won't be with the team next year. For the first time ever, Nashville will start a season with someone other than Joe Willis as their starting goalkeeper. We do have Brian Schwacke on the roster, and we do also have Xavier Valdez, who is a 22-year-old. Schwacke's 24, and these guys are the only goalkeepers on the roster right now. What do you guys think about that?
Well, first of all, I really want to give a shout out to Joe Willis. I mean, we got him in the expansion draft back in 2020. And, you know, at the time, I think we probably expected him to be an expansion team goalkeeper. He was already a veteran in MLS. We knew he'd get us through a season or two and probably look forward. To that guy's credit, he turned it into a 6-year job and put that job like out of question. That was his job because he played way, way above what we could have expected for at least the first 4 seasons for sure. So I'm definitely going to miss Joe. I know he's a crowd favorite and we absolutely love him here. But it was probably time. It was time.
Yeah.
So with 2 young guys currently on the roster, I'm hoping we sign a veteran of some sort.
Probably would be in our best interest to find somebody. Valdez, interestingly, was one of those players that we picked up the option on, was one of the 4 that we actually did exercise the option. So we see something in him. Now, we got very little look at Valdez this past season. He played in the second half of the friendly against Aston Villa and looked decent, but Villa was playing basically like their ball boys and water boys at that point. So I'm not really sure like what the level of competition was there, but he looked pretty decent. And of course, we brought home the draw. But I don't know how he's going to fare in MLS play. We've seen Schwacke significantly. We saw him in the Open Cup. You know, we won the Open Cup largely on his shoulders. I mean, Evan, what do you think? Do you think Schwacke should get a shot as our starting goalkeeper next year?
I definitely think he should get a shot. I can't say that I'm super confident that he will lock it down. I think John's right to say that we probably need to go ahead and sign a veteran keeper just in case. But yeah, Schwacke performed very well in the Open Cup, obviously. And yeah, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't have some confidence that he could be the guy.
Yeah. And John, you're kind of our goalkeeper extraordinaire on the podcast. So you watched some of Schwacke's performances. What was the good and the bad about what you saw there?
Yeah, good. He is good with his feet, which obviously I think is going to be a big, big part of the calculus for who else we might sign. I think B.J. Callahan wants to play with a high line defensively, which kind of requires sweeper keeper ability. And that was something Joe Willis was not particularly strong at. So Schwacke is good with his feet from what I've seen. Again, I'm only going on 6 games that I think that he played with us, but I think he came to us with a reputation of being good with his feet when he played in Scotland. So that's a good. The bad, I saw lateness in coming off his line at times, and that's kind of a it's an instinct to know when to come off your line and when not to. And that is something Joe Willis excelled at. He was really good in those one-on-one situations. A lot of times when you have somebody break through the defense and you're like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Joe was really good at stopping those one-on-ones. It was the shots from distance that he had more struggles with the last year or two. So that's my negative with Schwake is I didn't see that kind of authoritativeness in making that quick decision on whether to come off his line or not.
If we can just get somebody who can clear the ball out with any sort of success, then I'll be very happy, because that was my biggest gripe with Joe, is that particularly this last year and a half, his clearances were just terrible. And in some cases, they led directly to goals. And good teams took advantage of that for sure. So I'm looking forward to a goalkeeper who's, I don't know, maybe just a bit younger and has the power to be able to clear the ball out and really get it on the other side of the field, flip it quickly. We'll see what happens. Shall we move on to defense?
Sure.
We shall.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the defense, because it was significantly changed this year. We added Andy Nahar, who was a MLS All-Star. For large portions of the season, Jason Palacios was there, and he played tremendously. Walker Zimmerman battled injury, even though he's been our longtime captain. He is a U.S. national team player for many years. He just wasn't available that much and was battling injury. So Palacios stepped in admirably, performed really well. We also saw flashes from Josh Bauer, who continued to be our best bench player probably. He was, particularly in the playoffs, he showed up, and that one game against Miami that we won, he was just a shining star. So
amazing.
Let's talk about where we're at with the defense. Unfortunately, we've got two major departures on defense. One would be Taylor Washington, classified as a defender, though we rarely ever used him as such. I guess we did some, but he didn't play much this past season. He's more of an emotional sort of a player for those of us who've been longtime NSC fans, because he's just been with us since the USL days. He's retired, but also Walker Zimmerman, his contract ran out. It was not renewed. There was no discussion or renegotiation or anything like that. So our captain, Walker Zimmerman, who, again, been with us since day one, will not be with us in 2026. It's going to look very different on that defensive half.
Really is.
So Zimmerman's departing. In addition, we declined options for Julian Gaines, who, again, battled a lot of injuries. He's a young guy with a lot of talent, but we just couldn't get him on the field. Wyatt Meyer, who showed some flashes. He had some games where he really contributed, but he had a pretty nasty injury that I think pretty much sealed the deal for him. And then Tate Schmidt, who was signed very late in the season as just an emergency backup. He played like 40 minutes for us. I don't think that's going to be anything that makes a big move of the needle.
Yeah, we only signed him because of Taylor's injury.
Right. So we did exercise the option on Dan Lovitz, though. So he'll be returning as our veteran in the backfield. We also returning Chris Applewhite, Josh Bauer, Jordan Knight, Jack Mayer, Andy Nahar, and Jason Palacios. So I kind of feel like our starters are there. You got Lovitz, you got Mayer, you got Palacios, you got Nahar. We've got our four starters in defense, right?
Yeah. And we got one that might be joining us as we speak.
Tell us about it.
So Maxwell Willetsy, he's a player that had been kind of rumored with us for a while. And like right before we went on air, NSC was dropping the hint where they are about to announce a player signing. And Willetsy, from everything that I've seen, is an absolute lock. So by the time anybody is hearing this, we probably are already going to be announcing Maxwell Willetsy. He is a 24-year-old center back from Ghana, and he played in the Norwegian League, which, again, we signed several good players from the Norwegian League, Yazbek and Tagseth. Willetsy, from my understanding, was first team, like all Norwegian League team, which you might say, oh, big deal. Guys, we might be talking about world champion Norway here in a few minutes, because Norway is kind of an emerging power. Seriously, look, if you've watched them recently, Norway has an amazing depth of talent all of a sudden that came out of nowhere. So anyway, he was absolutely beloved by his club, Fredrikstad, and they had a big send-off for him. He's massively popular amongst their fans, and so I can't wait to see the guy. He has rave reviews. He seems, from his player profile, kind of in the Palacios mode. He is tall and skinny, and apparently very good with his feet. Very good bringing the ball out of the back. So, yeah, assuming that we've got him, which, again, might be 100% thing by the time anybody hears this, I really think our defense is pretty solid. I mean, with Bauer as a backup for sure, I don't see a whole lot of change past this point.
And if we make this new signing of Willetsy, is that, I'm saying that correct? Yeah?
Yes.
Evan, what do you think? Is that guy going to be a starter right out of the gate? Should Jack Mayer be worried about his starting job? I mean, is he the guy? Is it Palacios? Where does this new player fit?
I think, given what we have seen so far about Coach Callahan's use of Mayer, which has been less consistent than Gary Smith, I'd say then, yes, he does need to be worried. I don't know this player. I haven't seen him play, but the way you describe him sounds every bit like a threat to take Jack's starting position. So, yeah, I'd say so. I am curious, just backtracking a little bit, what you guys think about backups, or at least particularly a backup for Andy Nahar, because I think historically he has had some injury issues.
Right.
I think we were very fortunate to get all season out of him that we did. Do you see us going a whole another season, with Nahar healthy?
That would definitely be the plan, but yes, I am glad that we have Bauer back in that regard. I think Bauer is a better right back than left back, even though he had some great games at left back too. So if anything, addition-wise, I would say that we probably should look for a full-time left back option for Lovitz, because that's something we no longer have with Taylor and Schmidt leaving. Bauer can play back there, but he's not left-footed. And that could even be something from, the college draft. So you never know.
So of the 5 oldest players on the roster from 2025, the only one that's returning is Dan Lovitz. He's 33 years old. He'll be the oldest player on the team now. We don't really have a solid plan for backup for him.
Right.
Again, Schmidt, what was the other left back that we had on the roster? He's been let go, I guess. And then, Taylor Washington was the other one. So officially.
Yeah. And Julian Gaines, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and he was more right back, but what about Chris Applewhite? Can he play? I know that he's listed as a center back, but could he be a solution there as a backup left or right back?
I wouldn't think so. He seems strictly center back material to me. Just his physique and skill set, I think he should only be center back.
Okay, so I'm going to write this down. This is a significant need that we need to address in this offseason then. We need backups at our left and right back. Bauer we have kind of, I guess, for that right back position, but we definitely for the left back need somebody covering Lovitz, because he is, again, the oldest guy on the team now. He's the old man and yelling at people to get off his lawn.
Methuselah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Midfield time? We'll talk midfield?
All right.
So in 2024, the end of 2024, we were lamenting probably the midfield position more than any other on this team. Just so exasperated with the players that we had. And we saw a major overhaul in 2025. And man, I am really happy with our midfield now, guys. I mean, they're young, they're fast, they're tenacious. Now, let's just go over where we're at. We had a couple of midfielders that we declined the option on, Brian Acosta and Gaston Brugman. Brugman's one of those older players. We signed him for a 1-year contract. He came over from LAFC or Galaxy. Yeah, so LA Galaxy. Yeah. He's 32 years old. So he's not going to be coming back. And then Acosta was 31. Again, he was kind of signed as a fill-in reserve type of midfielder, not one of our starters. So both of those guys are departing. We did extend the option on Alex Will. So he'll be returning. And then in addition, on the roster, we have Matthew Corcoran, Isaiah Jones, Johnny Perez, Ahmed Qasim, Jacob Schaffelberg, Eddie Tagseth, and Patrick Yazbek. Do we need to touch midfield at all? I mean, guys, what do you think? Evan?
No, I don't think so. This is a very solid midfield. We have greater needs both at the back and up top. So I say we roll with this crew and focus our attention on other positions.
If you had told me we were going to say that 12 months ago, I thought that you're out of your mind.
Yeah, I know. Like you said, I mean, I distinctly remember us harping on this about a year ago or so, and it was bad. We didn't necessarily have a great history of finding key new midfielders in the offseason, but then all of a sudden, Mike Jacobs figured it out, and yeah, now our midfield is the strength of the team.
For sure. And if we see Ahmed Qasim blossom, do a Qasim blossom.
Yeah, let's have a Qasim blossom in 26.
If we have a Qasim blossom, then we've got incredible depth there. And I've got a hot take related to our midfield that I'll share in a little bit. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. I don't know that we need to do much with this midfield. We've got solid starters. We have some depth. John, I see skepticism on your face. I think you think that there might be something we need to do here.
You want to get feisty? Let's get feisty. I absolutely believe we need one midfielder, and in particular, we need a passer of through balls. We need someone in the Gaston Brugman mold.
Okay.
Last year, apparently, one thing that BJ Callahan told Jacobs in the front office was that he wanted a Gaston Brugman type. So they went and signed Gaston Brugman.
How about that?
Brugman, unfortunately, not quite fit in. You know, it never could 100% work out. But when he did play, his strength was delivering those through balls. I feel that we have so much winger speed that when we are going to be playing on a counterattack, we need a through ball player. And that was something that I really noticed that third game against Miami in the playoffs. We had guys who Miami were playing a really high line. And if we had a guy that could play through balls, we had speed, Schaffelberg, and that might have been in that game. But in general, Perez, we have different fast players who could have gotten in behind as a target. But we didn't have anybody that could play that ball to them. Yazbek and Tagseth, for all their qualities, are not that classic pinpoint passer to make those kind of through balls. So that's what I feel in my feeling. I'd rather not spend money on a veteran in this regard. I feel Corcoran's going to get a lot of
This is what I was going to suggest. I was going to offer to you Corcoran as the guy.
Yeah, I think Corcoran is going to be one, and I feel like we need to, one of those U22 slots that we have, I would like a guy, and I have a few in mind that I've seen linked with the team over the last year or so. But yeah, that we might save that one for here in a little bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, you've got to admit, this is the most solid midfield that we've had going into the next season 100%. In a long, long time.
Yeah, we've never had this, so
yeah. All right, well, let's move on and talk about the forwards and our offensive attack. And this is not changing dramatically. Let's just talk about it. So the only player forward that was out of contract was Teal Bunbury. And I don't know when he joined the team. You might be able to... He wasn't with us from day one, right?
No,
he was about 3-4 years.
It was 2 or 3 seasons. So 3 seasons at top, yeah.
Again, one of those older guys that's was on the roster. In fact, he was the second oldest player at 35 years old, longtime veteran in the MLS. And he was a serviceable backup, I guess, for us. And, there was that one role that he went on 2-3 years ago when he was filling in. Somebody was injured and he was filling in, and he scored like 2 or 3 games in a row or something like that.
Yeah, I think it might have been 4.
Right. He was on a hot
Yeah.
streak then, and that'll be my fondest memory of Teal. I am appreciative of his contributions, but definitely it's time to move on. I think we need some youth and some more speed up there as in our reserve. So he's leaving the team. In addition, we declined the option on Maximus Eck, who we never got on the field. I know that was a potentially exciting signing for us last season, but it never materialized into anything. We did, very interestingly, exercise the option on Wubens Passius. And, of course, he's been on loan. He was playing with Huntsville for a while, and then we had him on loan. And he's had a lot of success with the lower division. And the question will be, can that translate into the big leagues? In addition, on the roster, we've got Tyler Boyd, Hani Mukhtar, Adam Sipik, and Sam Surridge. So Surridge and Mukhtar, of course, are our 2 designated players. We had a third one in Zimmerman. It'll be interesting to see if we go with the third slot for a third designated player or just stick with the 2 going into next year. But that's our forwards. And I would suggest to you guys that other than goalkeeper, this is our area of need right here. What do you say?
I don't know. To be honest with you.
Okay.
I feel pretty decent. Surridge and Mukhtar obviously are tent poles, and they, knock on wood, have had fantastic record of being healthy and available. I think we can count on them, but absolutely the backup striker is a question mark because we basically played this entire season without no disrespect to Teal, but he wasn't a goal threat. Teal had his qualities in like finishing off a game, being smart about taking the ball to the corners and stuff like that. But like, if we were counting on Teal for goals, we wouldn't have scored any.
No.
So, do you think Wubens is going to get his chance? The guy can finish. I think he scored 17 goals for Tampa Bay Rowdies this year. Obviously, that's a lower division, but they weren't a good team even in that lower division. So that shows to me that if you give him a chance, he can score. I don't think he's the kind of guy that can create his own chances, but maybe we don't need that. If God forbid something happened to Sam, I think we would need someone other than Wubens Passius to be the starting striker. But as far as a backup, Wubens, give him a chance.
Sure.
The guy scores, so I don't know.
What's your concern there? What's your concern with Wubens?
I haven't watched a lot of them, to be honest with you. I don't have time in my life to watch Huntsville City games. I have 2 kids, people. I can't watch soccer around the clock.
What?
I know, right? I watch enough of it. Ask my wife. From what I've heard, it's the little thing. Like, I don't know that he's a good hold-up player. The well-rounded aspects of being a MLS quality striker. I don't know that he's that guy. But if a loose ball in the box comes to him, I think he's going to put it in the goal. And that's not something you could have said about Till last year, really. So that's where I feel. If a top-quality striker who's okay with a backup role lands on our feet, then I will gladly take him. But right now, I'm okay with Wubens.
Fair enough. Evan, I've got a question for you. What should we expect from Tyler Boyd in 2026?
Not a lot, I'm afraid. He definitely showed some promise early last season when before he had the injury. But yeah, I think this injury is probably going to be too much for him to overcome and ever be a reliable goal scorer. When he did get on the pitch second half of this season, I mean, he just looked definitely a step too slow and out of sync, and I just don't know that he gets that back. So I actually think that we probably do need to prioritize another forward, and here's why. Back in, let's say, 23 and even into 24, before Sam ever seemed to be maybe a disappointment, we were always saying we have to get somebody to help Hani score. We need somebody else who can shoulder the load. And then when Sam did finally hit and we had 2 threats, you see how much more dangerous that made us. Well, if we're going to take that next step in this league, if we're going to make a deep playoff run and compete for the championship, we've got to have a third threat. Maybe we do need to prioritize this. If we can get that third goal-scoring threat, like some of the, the teams. I know you guys are going to hate me for saying this, but like Miami,
Yeah,
we could go all the way.
I don't know. That might be the missing piece to me. The goalkeeper is probably number one priority. And actually, this is a good segue because it's the season. It's the Christmas season. We're all making out our lists and writing our letters to Santa. Have you guys written your Santa's letters yet? Have you written them?
I've written it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you confident that you're
course.
on the nice list?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
so
right.
much,
I have
brother.
no confidence in that whatsoever about me or you guys. But I will say that you should still write your list out just in case. And I would love to maybe get a sneak peek of what's on your wish list to Santa, particularly as it revolves around this team. So let's do the top three. And we'll just kind of go back and forth with you guys. If you have the same answers, that's okay. Let's just talk about it. And Evan, we'll start with you. What's one of your top three on your wish list for Nashville SC heading into the offseason?
Okay, yeah, actually, because I lack so much confidence in my ability to make the nice list, I haven't even sealed my envelope or put a stamp on it yet. So let me pull my list back out of this envelope, open it up, and read to you. All right, my first Christmas wish this year is that the club does switch to the 2 designated player / 4 U22 initiative player model. Not only because I want to see us start investing more and more in youth and that sort of development, but also to build a deep roster so that, like we have talked about previously, when we get into the middle of the season, when there is, when there are injuries and there are international duties to keep in mind, I want to see us have a really deep bench of solid, not necessarily too expensive players. If we switch to this model, though, guys, this also gives us an additional $2 million in GAM.
Ooh.
And so we're already, if we are on the low end of things, this would be a way for us to go ahead and boost that number significantly. So
give me all that GAM. John, what do you got?
Give me.
What's on your wish list?
Yeah, dear Santa, my name is John. I don't know if you've watched me this year or not, but I feel like I've been a pretty good boy. I feel I didn't hardly cuss anybody out that wasn't a referee. I mean, it's not 0%. It's not 0, that number. Anyway, if you would be so kind, Santa, I would love a winger who can be counted on for double-digit goals and or assists.
Okay.
We have fast wingers. We have talented young wingers. Obviously, Johnny Perez, Ahmed Kassem, Schaffelberg. But we can't really count on any of them with double-digit goal contributions. You know who we're missing? 2023, we had Fafa Pico.
Yeah,
you guys remember
for
Fafa?
sure.
Fafa was that
Fafa.
third guy for us. Fafa, I don't know if he had double-digit goals, but he had close. Someone like that is who I would love, Santa. And actually, I've got a name for you. I did some Christmas shopping on Amazon, and San Jose Earthquakes did not re-sign Christian Espinoza. He was a designated player for San Jose. I think he's 31. He's from Argentina, so he is a veteran. Obviously, I do not want to sign this guy as a DP. So if that's his deal breaker, then the deal is broken. But a guy like that, he has, I think, for 5 or 6 years, consistently double-digit goals and or assists. Someone like that could really, really make this team. So if we can get him on a non-designated player contract, that would be great. I have heard rumors that he might be moving back to the Argentine League, so he might not even be interested in this. But it wouldn't hurt to flirt. It wouldn't hurt to cast an eye in his direction to me. So Santa, bring me someone like Christian Espinoza, someone I can count on, someone that can help Hottie and Sam get these damn goals flying.
I like that. Okay, both good requests. Evan, back to you. Do you have another item on your wish list?
I do, guys. And I'm putting you on the hot seat here because I want to tell you, actually, you already know this from the last time, I freaking love the World Cup. And my second Christmas wish is to attend a match, preferably in Atlanta inside where it's not so hot. But my side wish is that you guys will agree to keep making this podcast next summer through the World Cup break, and we cover the World Cup on Electric Gold.
Oh, brother, I got good news for you. Santa's already talked to
What?
me. We're going to make this happen for you, Evan.
Oh!
World Cup! We're going to expand our horizons. Electric Gold will ride this wave of American soccer. We're just going to throw our hat in the ring. We're going to cover the World Cup.
Thank you, Santa. Thank you, Santa.
I don't know what it'll look like yet, but we'll make an effort. And I can't get you to a game. I can't promise that. I can't take out a second mortgage on my home.
Yeah.
Right.
But we will definitely do some World Cup focused podcasts during the summer when that's going on. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's an incredible event. And, you know, there may even be some Nashville SC players running around in that tournament.
I would bank on it.
So I'm looking forward to watching and commentating as well. So that'll be great.
Well, thank you, Santa, and thank you, my two new favorite little Christmas elves, John and Ryan.
Now, if Santa can come through with a New Zealand versus Curacao game in Atlanta, then we might be able to make that game, because I think the tickets might drop in price for that one. So,
John, do you have another wish list item?
I sure do. Santa, oh my gosh. Please, please, please. Would you please bring me a passing midfielder to replace Gaston Brugman, who we have let go? We've got these fast wingers who can get in behind defenses, especially on the road when we're going to be in a counterattack situations. But we ain't got nobody that can play that through ball to them. So Santa, please let Mike Jacobs use the wisdom of his U22 international roster spots and get one of these two guys. I got two guys on my wish list. And they're both guys that have been linked with us if you search the nether regions of Twitter. One guy is playing in Croatia right now, but he is an American. There's a guy named Rokas Pukstas. He is 21. He is a ball-playing, just a smooth offensive midfielder. He scores goals. He is kind of on the U.S. international radar because he is an American, but he also, I think his parents might be Lithuanian. So, he might eventually have that choice of playing for the U.S. or Lithuania. Mm-hmm. And Lithuania is not as good as the U.S., so that might be where he goes. But anyway, that would be one choice. And then another guy, I don't know why I'm on the San Jose Earthquakes kick, but they've got a guy who's a 20-year-old midfielder, excellent attacking midfielder named Nico Sarkiris. Also an American, also played with Matthew Corcoran in the U.S. U20 World Cup. And the guy can play a through ball. And Bruce Arena is the coach of San Jose and doesn't really seem to have the use for him. He's only 20. Maybe he and Corcoran can team up and fill that Gaston Brugman hole that we have in our team. You know, obviously, if you want to bring in, I don't know, Pedri from Barcelona or something, I would not mind that, sure. Santa. I'm telling you, Santa, if you're looking out for someone amazing and can make that happen, I would not make a fuss. But, you know, I'm trying to keep it realistic. I know the budget that you're working with, Santa.
Okay, great. And it's fascinating to me that Evan and I were both like, don't even need to touch midfield. We're good there. And John has just asked for two midfielders.
Yes.
All right, Evan, one more wish list item for you for Christmas. What do you want to see under the tree on Christmas morning?
Okay, guys, under the tree on Christmas morning, I also want to see us thrash Cincinnati on decision day next season. As you know, the 2026 schedule was released, what was that, last week, maybe week before? I can't remember. But regardless, there were some tasty matchups on that schedule, but none more so than the Cincy match on decision day. And I want that to be an absolute thrashing. So if you guys, as my new favorite Santa's elves, can make that happen, if you can talk to the big guy up there at the North Pole, get this done for me, I would be grateful.
We'll see what we can do.
I'll whisper in his ear.
John, one more wish list item from you. What do you got? Is it another midfielder?
No, I've had it in my fill of midfielders. Thank you, Santa. Santa, if you would bring me a veteran goalkeeper who can play with his feet and can challenge for the starting role, that would be really nice. I am thinking I've got someone in mind. He just, his contract wasn't renewed, from Portland Timbers. Maxime Crépeau. He is for the Canadian national team. I think he's currently their backup. And Portland let him go. Why not get him? I have a feeling, being a Canadian national team player, that he will probably look at one of the Canadian teams. I think they're making an effort to rally those Canadian national team players in the Canadian teams to kind of build up the excitement. Remember, they're hosting the World Cup too, so it's a big event for them. On a side note, that's kind of why I feel that they might be coming after Schaufelberg for us, that we might get offers from Canadian teams that might be too good to pass.
You're stepping all over my hot take, but okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just wiping your feet all over it.
Wiping my butt with it. No. Anyway, Maxime Crépeau, if you can send him down to Nashville. I mean, Shania Twain is down here. She's a Canadian who's made it big in Nashville. Maybe we can have another one.
I don't know if he's going to look as good as Shania.
Good God, no one can.
But we would welcome him in our goal anyway. Okay, those are some great lists for Santa. And guys, I hope that your Christmas wishes come true. They sound great. Let's move on. Let's do some all too early hot takes for the offseason and for 2026. It's time for the Nashville Hot Chicken Takes.
My hot chicken take is that these owners got skills to shake. Entertain the crowd and get on the field. 'Cause why the fuck not?
And so, Evan, we're going to start with you. What's your hot take for this offseason and for 2026?
Okay, my hot take, all too early for 2026, is that we are going to sign a very good goalkeeper, and we are going to find a third goal-scoring threat, and we are going to represent the Eastern Conference in MLS Cup next year. We are going all the way to the big dance, so you guys just go ahead and write it down and be ready and enjoy that spice.
He has spoken.
Just
it's
mark
real.
it down. We're headed to the Cup final, and yeah, I believe. I'm a believer. It's the season of believing, and I believe. John, what's your hot take?
So first I want to start off by quoting, as I often do, Lawrence Fishburne. I don't always quote others. He was playing the character Morpheus in the 1999 film The Matrix. His quote was, "You have to let it all go. Fear, doubt, and disbelief." Boys, 2026 is the year that Nashville SC and American soccer in general have to let go of fear, doubt, and disbelief and grow up. We'll start with MLS. To me, MLS is coming up on 30 years this season. 1996 was the first season, so this is 30 years of MLS. MLS has kind of been in survival mode from the time it's been established, you know, and it's probably the good move because American soccer fans were burnt. Way back in the 70s and 80s, we had the NASL, and that league went belly up. So to kind of counteract that, we've always had these kind of restrictions, salary caps, don't spend above your means, get by, survive, right? I think MLS has had enough of that. I think MLS has established itself. It's not going anywhere anymore. And now, instead of just competing with American sports leagues, American interest, I think these guys are ready to compete with soccer leagues around the world.
Wow.
You know, we've talked about a little, obviously in 2027, MLS is changing to the European calendar, if you will.
Right.
The July to May season. To me, that move made no sense at all unless we're going to be competing with European teams for big-time players. That's really the only reason to do it. Because if you're not going to do it, it just doesn't make any sense. We've been fine doing what we've been doing. I think the signing of Messi has kind of elevated MLS into a different stratus around the world. And I think the owners are ready to compete. And not just the owners of MLS, but let's talk about NSC. Amongst MLS teams, Nashville has always done well in competing on a budget. We've never had amongst the highest payrolls in the league, really. We've never bought a big European star like, obviously, Messi, Son Heung-min from LAFC. We never bought a Beckham. Never bought a Thomas Mueller like Vancouver, leading Vancouver right now. We've always been kind of conscious of not spending. But I really think teams are going to start spending a lot of money. I think not just Miami. I think a lot of teams are ready to compete with Miami. And to do so, they're going to have to spend a lot more money. NSC's got to be ready. We've got to be ready to spend that money to compete because over time, there's only so far you're going to go.
That's right.
You know, here in Nashville, we also have two other professional top-level teams. We've got the Titans and the Preds.
I wouldn't call the Titans top level.
But in 1990, not now, but in 1999, they were.
Sure.
So they both got close. They both got really close to the pinnacle. But they fell just short, 1 yard short in the case of the Titans. Being close is not good enough to the Nashville sports fan. We have seen interest in the Titans and Preds go way downhill. A lot of that is because they're the most incompetent franchises in professional sports possibly being run right now. But we don't want to be that. We don't want to get close and not be good enough. We don't want to be the team that gave Miami a good series and lost. Yeah. We got to get big. We got to get really ambitious. And I think this is the year where we make or break. I don't know that we're going to spend a lot this offseason, but keep in mind that this Hani Mukhtar and Sam Surridge, their contracts expire at the end of 2026.
They've got club options for both. There's club options for 27.
Well, there you go.
But there's a 2-year window that we're heading into right now where we've got to make it happen. We've got the contract for 26 and the club options for not just for them, but also Schaffelberg, Palacios, Nahar, Tagseth, Tyler Boyd, and then Jack Mayer is only for 2 more years. So a lot of this core roster, we've only got through 2027.
Well, there you go. John Ingram, open up them purse strings, buddy boy. Get these guys some help, and we can be that team that beats Miami and, is the champion of MLS. We could do it. We could do it. I think this is what we got to aim for. We got to grow up.
We got to set our sights higher. And if they keep charging the same amount for beers that they are, they should have no problem opening up that wallet. Oh, my God. Beers are expensive.
I'm telling you.
All right. So I have 2 hot takes. I hope you guys will indulge me. I know
we've
been going for a few minutes here, but I've got to get this out. First and foremost, as I was doing my research on GAM and TAM and roster construction, all that stuff, I noticed an interesting wrinkle in the rules that I guess I wasn't completely aware of before. But the 3 Canadian teams in our league, Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, they are required to have at least 3 Canadian players on their main roster, on their senior roster. They must have at least 3. And so I started thinking about, well, who are the best Canadian players in the MLS? Yeah. Is Jacob Schaffelberg one of the top 9 Canadian players in the MLS, would you say?
I would say so, yeah.
I would guess he's probably there. I mean, top 12, at 9. I think he's in the top 9. He's probably the best Canadian winger in the entire league.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's more valuable to them than he is to us. Yeah. If that is, I mean, they have that requirement. They've got to fulfill it. If they can fulfill it with a higher level player, then all the better, right? So he's more valuable to a Canadian team than he is to us. I think we should trade Jacob Schaffelberg this offseason to one of those 3 Canadian teams and either get back general allocation money or, I don't know, a quality youth player, something. Now is the time to send Schaffelberg on his way. I like watching him. He's been a lot of fun, and he's certainly been a hometown favorite, but I think it's time to send him and get maximum value for him while we still can. That's my hot take there.
Love it.
Any disagreement?
No, not a bit.
No way. That's delicious.
Yeah. That is good, spicy Nashville hot chicken. I'm telling you. It makes sense.
Now, part 2 of my hot take has nothing to do with that, but it does probably tangentially relate to what you were talking about, John. Apple TV is the worst thing that could happen to the MLS right now, and they should be trying everything they can to get away from that contract.
Oh, man. Now you're getting into spicy stuff.
Here's the thing. Ooh. I love having all the broadcasts in one place. I love that there are no blackouts.
Yeah.
All of that is really, really good stuff. But here's the thing. How many people actually have Apple TV subscriptions, right?
I don't...
Compared to Netflix, compared to Amazon Prime, how many people have an Apple TV subscription, right?
I've got one right now just because of Pluribus.
Oh, fantastic show. Let's do a whole podcast on Pluribus,
so good.
dude. I'm in on Pluribus 100%. It is the show to watch right now. But all that aside, how many bars have an Apple TV subscription so that they can put the game up on on a Sunday or a Saturday and show it, even locally?
Yeah.
There are some bars around that have it to show the local games, but overall, again, if you're talking about let's compete with the other leagues, if you were talking about let's get maximum exposure for MLS, they've got to get off of Apple. They've got to get onto a more mainstream service where there's more exposure, where there's more access, where there's more subscribers, and particularly where there's subscribers in sports bars and stuff like that, so that you can go anywhere and watch a game anytime you want. Because right now, it's a struggle.
It really is. I'm 100% with you on this. I've got experience Saturday. I was out in Hendersonville. My family decided we want Buffalo Wild Wings. And it was right at the time the Vandy UT game was on. So I was like, cool, I'll get to watch the Vandy UT game. And then I was like, maybe one of the TVs will have the Miami NYC game. No, they did not.
No.
It was invisible. So, I was like, come on, there's 20, 30 fucking screens in here. One of them needs to have an MLS screen on, and it just doesn't happen because these bars are not going to sign up for Apple TV. 100% in on you.
Yeah. Yep. And, that's Buffalo Wild Wings. That's their business is putting sports on
That's their
TVs.
business is putting sports on TV. Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys think that the change this next season, the dropping of the MLS season pass, and I think it's additional games on Fox and FS1, do you think, are they regretting the Apple deal already?
I mean, I don't know if that's the case, but you can convince me that is the narrative. They have been locked into this closet, this Apple TV closet, where they cannot be seen by as many people as possible. I mean, MLS has been growing for many years, and with Messi and all of the popularity around that, I'm sure that there is a contingent of people who have signed up just to watch that. But if you want exposure across the larger league, I think you've got to get onto some platforms that have more coverage, more exposure. And that might be what they're recognizing there, is that they need to walk back from that exclusive deal a little bit and start opening it up to more people. I think it's in the best interest of the league, in the best interest of every team not named Miami, to get away from Apple and be broadcast more openly where people can watch those games. That's my big hot take.
I'm with you, man. It's a shame that it's easier to watch the German Bundesliga than MLS on American TV. And this is 100% true. It's so easy to watch even like lesser leagues than that, It's easier to watch the Mexican League, for one. They're on like 10 different channels at any given time.
Yeah, that's my hot take. I'm sticking to it. And MLS, I hope you're listening. If you need help, put me in charge. I'll handle this for you.
I'll take a 10% fee.
This is going to be a long episode, but I do want to wrap up really quick with some crystal balls from you guys. Off-season crystal ball. What do you predict is going to happen between now and opening day? We're going to start with you, John. What's your crystal ball?
Crystal ball, December 9th, there is the draw for the CONCACAF Champions Cup that we're in. We're going to draw Miami.
Oh,
gosh.
I bet we get like a Central American or Caribbean team in the first round, but I bet we play Miami in the second round because it's just the way that God hates us.
Do you think we're going to see Luis Suarez in that tournament?
Oh, I kind of wish so because they are way better without him.
Yeah.
I've been watching their last few games, and man, without him on the field, it's like a whole new team. They don't have this slow, old crap geezer.
I'm not nearly as embarrassed about how we got beat by them after seeing how they've manhandled the rest of the East. That's for sure.
Exactly. Yep.
Evan, do you have any crystal ball predictions for the off season?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me get my crystal ball out here. Oh, wait. No, that's my snow globe. Yeah. Let me get my... Okay, there's my crystal ball. Yeah, okay. I'm gazing in it and seeing that old Moneyball Mike is going to have another strong offseason. He's going to find at least one new good signing from the Norwegian League or some other Scandinavian league, but he's also going to find a great new player from a still under the radar region like India or China.
Wow.
Somewhere like that.
Yeah.
He is traveling the world and he is bringing back great talent. So that's what I'm seeing in my crystal ball.
He's riding along on Santa's sleigh.
It could be traveling the world in one night. Where in the world is Mike Jacobs?
Yes. Yeah. Santa's pulling gifts out of his big sack, and Mike's stuffing great new players back into it.
I like it. I like it a lot. Those are great predictions, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing what the offseason brings for this team. We built a lot of excitement for Nashville this year, and it was fun to watch, and I enjoyed every moment of it, and I'm looking forward to an even brighter 2026. So, guys, thank you so much for such a fun season. This has been just a blast doing this podcast with you. It's been such a blast doing it for all of you out there listening. Thank you so much for all the support, for being the listeners that you are, downloading the show every week and listening to it, whatever, streaming it, whatever you're doing. We really appreciate all the support and all the feedback, the positive feedback we've gotten. It's just been a blast. Once again, one more time, John, if people want to give us feedback, let them know how they could do that.
We are Electric Gold NSC, baby. We are on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and now we've even got a Blue Sky. I think that's how you pronounce it. So we kind of ingratiate ourselves in a whole new community. I think I signed us up for one at the start of the season and forgot entirely about it until like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
So we are grateful to the Blue Sky community for welcoming us in. And yeah, anytime over this off season you're lonely and you're missing NSC, just give us a shout. We'll be glad to talk about it with them. There's going to be crazy stuff happening. I mean, there's only like 2 months until we're playing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Good. I can't go too long without some NSC, so I'm glad.
No, it's going to be a blast these next few months and seeing who we get. We might already have a new player as we're speaking right now. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun off season.
Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And again, we appreciate all the support, all the love. It's been a great season. Thank you so much. And even though it's a long, cold off season with no soccer, no NSC to speak of, we still want you to keep on thinking about the boys, supporting them, keep on wishing for some NSC gifts to come under your tree, some blue and gold under your tree. Keep on cheering on the boys. Keep on supporting them. Keep on tuning in. Keep on being awesome fans. And, of course, you got to keep on saying it. Come on, you boys in gold.
Come on, you boys in gold.
Come on, you boys in gold.
Look around you in every face you see. There's a look of cheer and a feeling of wonder and amazement. The anticipation is building. Children can the adults walk a little lighter and smile a little brighter. It's the most wonderful time of the year. MLS free agency is here. Yes, it's time for trade windows and college entry drafts. Can you imagine the cheer? Can you imagine the laughs? Oh, the MLS off-season is beginning. Oh, and also it's Christmas. Advent calendars counting down the days until the 2020 subs contract of Champions Cup draw. Dreams of swapping international roster spots and general allocation money dancing in our heads. Can we bolster our midfield, beef up our backline, find a striker who pitches in with goals? None among us really knows. It's the most wonderful time of the year. MLS free agency is here. Yes, it's time for trade windows and college entry drafts. Can you imagine the cheer? Can you imagine the laughs? Oh, the MLS off-season is beginning. Oh, and also it's Christmas. Cherish this special time of the year. Huddle together tight with your family, for it only comes once a year. And when it passes, you'll miss it. And there's only so many of these special times that you'll have in your life, and then you'll be dead. So enjoy your MLS off-season, everyone.